Hey guys, when I first started hosting Airbnbs, I would send my guests this pretty long, detailed check-in message that would explain some of the weird quirks of a house. If you have ever bought a new home or moved into a rental or stayed in a weird place, you know that every house kind of has its quirks and its little ins and outs that you might want to know when you're staying there. So I would put those in the message. I would remind guests of my rules and extra little details of things to care for the home. And what I was finding based on the questions that I was getting from my guests is that they were not reading the full message. And I think what was happening is they were getting information overload. They would read to the point where it had the instructions for the keypad and the code, and then I think they were just stopping. And so I realized I have to find a way to deliver this information to my guests in the property so the guests have the information that they need at the time that they need it in the place that they need it, and to abbreviate this check-in message. So what I found, and one other thing that really was a trouble, and sometimes if you host Airbnb, you know that sometimes their app just glitches. And so for a while it was truncating the messages. So you'd send this long check-in message and they'd get like this piece of it and they wouldn't even get the whole thing. And so I knew they weren't getting all the details that they might need for the property. So again, in an effort to give them what they needed, when they needed it, where they needed it, I have come up with these acrylic wall sign holders. And so I'm going to put the link below in the video in the description to an Amazon link, and you can go, there's tons of different sizes, there's tons of different styles. So for example, Wyoming winters are crazy and gnarly and wet and cold and muddy. And so I don't care if my guests take off their shoes, but if their shoes are wet, dirty, or muddy, I want them to remove their shoes. So instead of putting that in the check-in message, I can make a sign like this that just says, if your shoes are wet or dirty, please leave them at the door, and just attach this right next to the front door. There's no way they're going to miss it. You can make it bigger if you want. You can get whatever size of these. And then there's also a style that you can like sit on a desk. So see how that stands up, and then, of course they have the ones that lean back, really whatever you want. But so you might have a weird quirk or a weird instruction with your bathroom, or how you want the bathroom left, or hey, I have these black rags and towels for makeup, please use those instead of the white ones so they don't get stained and ruined. And all you have to do is make these cute little signs, and you can make them super stylish and welcoming and put them wherever you need them in the house for your guests to know what they need to do or how to use that, or here's instructions for any weird little setup you have. And it's super helpful for them to have it right when they might need it in the location that they need it at. So again, acrylic wall sign holders or acrylic table, this is just like a table setting one. And this is going to make it easier for you, and it's going to make it easier for your guests.